Hi, it's Gadget UK here again. I've just remembered I left the batteries in the Velleman. What on earth was I thinking? I always used to have one battery out of this, and then they wouldn't be in circuit, but on this occasion, as you can see, I've forgotten. I can't believe that's happened. I hope I can repair this. So I need to somehow free these flipping things up like that. Just get them out to this. I mean, it's quite a dry environment in here, but well, they're not dry, are they? This is the thing. I honestly can't believe I did that. And I keep doing this. Anything that's battery related on my channel, I show you the repair and go, don't leave batteries in things, and then I forget about it and I leave the batteries in it. So just thinking about the best way to do this, I think maybe I should actually go inside this and clean this independent, because otherwise the vinegar and IPA is going to go right into the unit. So I actually think I should get the screws out, clean the screws up as well. I think there's another one there somewhere. Let's just tap that. Yeah, the issue with corrosion like this is whether it gets into, on the PCB, into the screen, around the keypad, etc. I forget where the keypad is now. It's a bit further up, so we might be alright here. And hang on, the screws at the top. Yeah, I know you can't see. I'm trying to avoid all that down there. It's a lot of contamination. Just try and pull the back off. Yeah, so a tiny bit of corrosion just on the board there, but it's alright, and it detaches this. We can just pull that off like that, move that out of the way, but we can now focus on this on its own. So yeah, I can dispose of that. Be right back. Yeah, so pointing you at the screen there, you can see the battery contact. We'll just have a bit of problem with some vinegar here. Let's just get some vinegar. Let's do that one first, a bit of vinegar. See it fizzing? Look at that. Super fizzing. I'm hoping these have survived and they clean up okay. So yeah, it's that thick at this stage. Cotton bud is not really the best thing. I'm just going to get a cap of vinegar and I'm going to scrub, super scrub with the brush. So I'm just going to use a toothbrush and have a scrub around. Wow, look at that. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is quite possibly the fuzziest, like AA battery type thing I've ever seen. These are they're really fizzy here. I've never seen so much fizzing. Yeah, so neutralise this way to start with. Right, that seems to have neutralised that side. Let's just get some more vinegar. Yeah, you should really use white vinegar. I've been using malt vinegar recently. I never had a problem. I used malt vinegar for years, to be honest, as long as it's clear. And as long as you clean thoroughly with IPA afterwards, it doesn't really make it much of a difference, to be fair. I'm now going to try and do this side here. Again, super fizzy. Look at that. Careful not to flick it in your eyes, whatever you do. Just wondering what that is there. It's just a metal end, isn't it? Yeah, there was a piece of card in there to try and isolate the things from showing to each other. Look how much fizzing's going on here. It's really going for it in this corner. Still fizzing now. Look how much vinegar there is there in that channel as well. Really, really fizzing here. I need to try and collect that now with something. I'm just going to get some additional paper towel. So we'll just give that another go. Still some fizziness in that one there. And that bottom one. A lot. Really hard to believe how much fizzing is going on down there. You see it? It's like fizzing here, and it's fizzing there as well. I think it's because there's chunks of the stuff, you can see it here, like broke off. And they are still a very strong alkaline. And obviously, we've got the underside here. This is the point where these can break as well. So yeah, I'll just spend some time now just wiping this like this, mopping up, and then I'll show you in the microscope again. We'll use the grinding pen, I think, just to try and clean up the springs. Might have to take them out. It might be the best thing, try and take them out of the plastic here. So I'll have another clean with some vinegar and IPA and stuff in a minute. I'm just going to try and clean these. I was going to say in situ. I really need to take them out, but we're back to the I'd need to desolder and bend each one of these things through. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should do that. Go on, let's do that. Otherwise, we're not going to get right into the cavity, are we? This is the problem. You know, there's a gap. Well, you could see it. You could see it when we were looking at this contact down here, for example. You can see, you know, you can't get in there. You can't get in there. You can't get down these little gaps here, so you know, we need to disconnect it, I think. And obviously it's touching a plastic, so I'm trying to pull, there you go, pull upwards like that. Let's just try and level the solder somewhat. Yeah, we'll do these one side at a time, so I'll do these positive ones. So let's have a look how these are arranged. So you've got a flat connection, spring, flat, spring, flat. Yeah, that's 5 batteries, which is a weird amount, isn't it? So if we start with that positive one, if we just try and bend this, I don't know if it's going to break, this is the thing. Might not need to go completely straight up. And I'll point you down while I'm doing this bit. I'm just going to try and massage this out if I can. You see the solder and the, you know, it's slightly bent, but the solder on it, I might need to, yeah, I'm going to have to use some braid on there. It's something you might not expect, but sometimes the corrosion can actually weaken the plastic, and certainly when you start heating things around them as well. Let's try and get a bit of braid on that with some flux. Right, I've got the solder off that. The other ones should be a bit easier because they haven't got solder on. There we go. That's that. Wow, yeah, it was the right decision, I think, trying to take that out. These ones are just, they're not soldered. I'm trying to think about this, how they're not soldered. Oh, it's because the batteries are in series, aren't they? Imagine you'd expect to join between them. Oh yeah, the two joined together, that's what I was looking at. I'm like, how are they not joined? And they are joined, they're just, each has a separate thing here like this, but they're joined on the other side, is the point. You're only going to get away with so many of this type of repair on this kind of device. You know, by this time this is corroded 2 or 3 times, that might be it, might be game over. Push that way, there we go, it's coming out. Oh my goodness, look at the state of the back of that. Definitely the right idea, taking these out. Switch the grinding pen on. There we go, full RPM here. Oop. You've seen me do this before. I did it on the N64 vibration pack, the rumble pack there. And you could argue start with this first, the wire brush, but yeah, we'll go around it with the wire brush, I think. Yeah, I think I've got away with it on this occasion, because you can see the metal looks alright. It's not like it's corroded straight through. So I think we'll just have a go with the grinding pen here, because if that's not super clean, you're not going to get a good battery connection. Yeah, and fiberglass brush is your friend as well. You know, a lot of these things here like this, they'll just come up so much cleaner with the fiberglass brush. All that oranginess. Again, it's going to be quite hard trying to get all the way around this. I just can't get the pressure I need. So I will use the grinding pen just to go up to the edges, just like we did on that other side. Anyway, I'll show you in a minute when I've finished cleaning this one, and then I'll just zoom through the other ones and we'll reassemble. I'm just going to get a cap of IPA and clean it with some IPA now. Yeah, that's not too bad. Not too bad. So, yeah, I'm not going to put that one back in now, because I want to clean the plastic somewhat in the sink, probably. So I'm going to get these bottom contacts back in. I've had a scrub around here with vinegar, with IPA. I've cleaned both sides of these bottom contacts here. I've gone into the channels completely. I've, you know, used cotton buds to wipe and mop up around here. So the plastic all around there is clean. There's no yellow coming off now. But they look spotless. Yeah, in the channels here, it looks absolutely spotless. There's the odd little red mark on the plastic, I think. I could try using the wire brush on that just a little bit. The other thing I will do, another tip for you, and I always do this with corroded contacts, is get some WD-40 onto the contacts. So WD-40 will not cause any electrical isolation problems, but what it will do is just potentially stop these from traditional rust. Yeah, just like a little bit like that. And then just have a, you know, a bit of a wipe around them. Hang on, I'm trying not to get it all over my hands. Here's what I'm doing, like that, around the spring. And you can see how much better these are though. Look how silvery these look now, on both sides. And you do get contamination coming off when you do that. It acts as a cleaning, you know, part of the cleaning process as well, not just coating them and protecting them with a solvent. But like I say, it won't cause any conductivity issues. It's one of the amazing things of WD-40. I don't know if you're aware, but the original WD-40 was designed for the Space Shuttle. I think it was. It might even predate the Space Shuttle. It was when NASA were working on rockets. So, those can all go back in now. Yeah, the single contact went down here, didn't it? Like that. So it's a case of getting it lined up, and then, hang on, was the single contact there? Yeah, it was, and then these ones went like this. So we have spring, obviously got to alternate according to what's up there, and then this one down here. Carefully turn it over without dropping these things out, and then just bend them over. Like 1, 2, 3. These are only going to sustain this a couple of times, so like if these ever were taken out again, they might break off. Just move that wire out of the way and bend that one over. That's it. So that's the bottom contacts back in place. They look good as new. The iron is still on, so I'm going to solder that on there, desolder this one, pull those out, and then just cut to putting them back in, really. Yeah, the contacts on this side a lot better. There's just this one that's got, I think, a piece of card, because I remember wedging a piece of card in between, trying to stop the contacts from making a connection, and it seems to have leaked through. I think maybe that's what's happened. I think my piece of card has stayed there, keeping the batteries isolated, and then ultimately what this cell started to corrode on its own, and it's leaked through, and then you've had conductivity and it's made all the cells leak, if that makes sense. That explains why that piece of card was like welded onto there. I'm sorry you couldn't see that. Just cleaned that off. So yeah, like same thing really. Vinegar and the wire brush. Use the fiberglass brush. Grinding pen just on the contacts there. These don't need anywhere near as much clean-up work though. Also, don't forget to go down the sides of these, certainly with the wire brush or fiberglass pen, because you can just get like little edges of corrosion. None of them have been particularly bad here. Maybe the first one I showed you was the worst. Right, so that's fairly clean. Anyway, I'll report back in a minute, but we're almost there. Right, that's it. They're all back in there. This is this kind of plastic that's it's kind of biodegradable. You can see I've got green plastic on my finger there. It's like you get a bit of IPA on it, and yeah, it starts to sort of melt. Yeah, I did just flick a bit of solder there. I have to get that off in a sec. Yeah, we're on knee cam again. Just gonna bend that around. And join that back up. That's it. So contacts are all cleaned up. Just get rid of a particle of solder. There we go, it's on the bench. So that's all of the battery contacts cleaned up. I'll have another wipe around the edge here, just done that though, you know, wipe around the edges of the plastic. But can you see, it goes all weird when you get a bit of IPA. I haven't got any on the top part, but I need to try and wipe that with some plastic polish or something, try and smooth it off. And I've had a wipe just on the inside here as well, just to make sure there's no contaminants leaked in. Yeah, and on this occasion here, the PCB's pretty clean. I'd cleaned up this screw head here and wiped out that cavity, but you can see the board fits almost flush with the plastic. I do remember when I looked at this previously, I took the board out and had a look underneath, and it, you know, it was a bit of corrosion here, you can see that, but that was cleaned the last time the batteries leaked. On this occasion, we seem to be alright. And the corrosion seemed to be the bottom contacts rather than the top ones. So anyway, got to try and find where that is now. So connect this little JST up here, like that. Put that back into position. Right, yeah, I am on a totally ESD unsafe surface at the moment. So let's get these batteries in. 1, 2. I always put the screw, because there's a screw to retain, you know, to secure this, taped in so it wouldn't, you know, wouldn't get separated. And you can see the feet have moved. They need heating with a bit of hot air, just sliding down. I think I might do that in a minute. Is it going to work? Or am I going to have to take the PCB to pieces? So let's turn it over. Ah, there you go. Velleman instruments. I need to get the scope probe connected up. But all signs are it's working again. Yep, the board's going to come out because the buttons aren't working. This button here, display, it's not doing anything. I'm sure it should do. Same with trigger. So yeah, the corrosion has done something further into this. So wrist strap on, and I've got a soft, you know, paper towel down here. Let's just get these screws out. There must be some corrosion just near the edge here. Hopefully it's not destroyed the insides of this. This is something worth checking before you start repairing battery bays. Yeah, there is some corrosion there. Wow. Quite a lot of screws up here. Just look at the length of those screws, they're all the same. I don't remember desoldering this, you see, previously, but it's part of the case that, you know, it's going through the case, so I must have done. I must have desoldered that previously. And just pull it away. I'm not sure if it's tucked through or what. Oh, I don't remember how I did this last time. Yeah, it's just pulled away. I think I must have just previously, you know, done the same thing, like either heated and pulled it or snipped it or something. So I've got the one here as well. So I'm just going to try and grab it and heat, lift it up like that. That's it. Hopefully that'll now come out. That's it. Yeah, some of those screws look off the screen, so I'm going to just put those back in before we have an issue there. Just wondering what that thing there is for. That spring. Test point. Oh, it's the sounder on the back, isn't it? I think that goes to give you audible, you know, sounds. So yeah, I have been in this before, and like I said last time, I think I would have pulled this off and had a quick peek underneath it. Yeah, look, just a little bit of corrosion. It's just gone here. It's not too bad, but nevertheless it's there. It needs cleaning off. So here, I'm just going to use cotton buds and IPA. And obviously need to test wires and things here, because there is the odd wire down here that's a bit dirty. Chances are what was happening is the conductivity across these buttons here was shorting out the matrix. So actually I don't think there's going to be a damaged trace. I think what's going to be happening is it was detecting the button being pressed all the time. It was messing up the scanning of the matrix there. That's what I think. Because I vaguely remember that from last time, I think. It was the same thing where I thought, oh my god, there must be a corroded trace, and then I checked everything out and it was like everything was alright. And I'm like, doesn't make any sense. And I cleaned it all up, put it back together, and it worked perfectly. And just for good measure, we'll clean this with a bit of IPA as well. Just gently wipe each one of these. Start in the middle. Don't start in the middle, you'll forget which ones you've done, which ones you haven't. Start in the corner and work your way down. Yeah, so I'm just going to wipe over them with a tiny bit of IPA. And then try and wipe, certainly the bottom part, because it was nearer down the bottom part there. There was something on the PCB, wasn't there, on the bottom ones. And then wipe over with the dry end of the cotton bud. You're not aiming to remove the black stuff. The black stuff is how it works. You just want to just gently, you know, reform the surface is what you're doing. You're wearing a tiny bit of it off. I don't know why I'm cleaning a hole. I thought that was one of the contacts. Yeah, some stuff up there. Good measure, I'm just going to have a dry wipe over that. Right, that should do, I think. So, yeah, this thing can just go back in there, I think, like. And that's the best way to do it, is get that in there first. You've got to get this just right, or the things don't fit through the holes, look. Make sure there's no dust on there. Make sure there's no dust in there either. Get this back into position there. Well, that's tight. Like, really tight. Yeah, and then this is the fiddly bit now, trying to hold the PCB right and make sure these are, there we go, correct. That's it, so I'll get all the screws in. One of the screws needs cleaning back up. Right, let's connect power again before I solder the antenna back on. I just want to make sure the buttons work, actually, before I start soldering it all back together. Marker. It's working, it's all working. So, that's a relief. I hate pliers and tools that have smooth, shiny handles, and that's what this has got. So it's like you get, you know, you slip on it. Is the point? I can't grip the damn thing. So that's it. Soldered on there. Soldered on there. And that seems pretty sturdy. So I'll get the screws back in again. Yeah, so it's a bit scuffed up and stuff, this meter. Alison used it a fair bit, and I used it a bit earlier on my channel. It's got a screen protector on it, and I put one on it just because the actual glass there was spotless. So I'm using soap and water here, not IPA, because this plastic is the kind that I don't like IPA at all. We'll just have a clean, but like I say, it's got some scuffs. You can see, you know, it is a bit beat up, this meter. I was thinking about getting rid of it, you know, passing it on, but then I started thinking it's always useful to have a meter, even if it is limited, like 10 megahertz limited, that runs off batteries. You never know, you know, like you get to a point where you've got a power problem or something, like no one's got power, and you want to test something and work out if you've got a frequency on something. Just anything rather than nothing, even though this one, like I say, it's limited. Yeah, it's better than nothing. Yeah, might need to use a bit of plastic polish to get those marks there where the IPA kind of made it go a bit weird. Yeah, the same here, look. It's like the IPA is just... And the battery as well, I think, has done those top two, because I didn't get IPA anywhere near the top part. Right, I've got some plastic polish here. It's going to go green, this, because, well, it is, like I say, biodegradable plastic, if you ask me. It's one of those kind of plastics that's just not stood the test of time. On the bottom half. Can you see it goes green? Surprisingly, that is working, though. It has polished off the little imperfections that were there. Not down here so much, though. Look. Yeah, with a bit of work, that could be made to be a bit better. The polish is helping, but I can still see some irregularities on the bottom half. You can see that. Just get a bit more polish on it. Yeah, they're coming off as well. I'm amazed, actually. Yeah, I managed to polish that quite a bit. Those aren't going to come out because they're really deep scuffs. It's like British racing green almost, isn't it? Can you tell it was made in the UK? I don't know what it was with our fascination with having green test gear, like dark green. It might be to military origins. The military may have, I certainly think that with Fluke, may have gone, we need it to be dark green. For the lads that are hiding in the bushes with the multimeters. I don't know, the military. You'd think the electronics people in the military would be far from the combat area though, but you never know. I've lost my toothbrush now. Where's the toothbrush gone? Let's have me throw the toothbrush out. I think I have, actually. That's a common thing. When you're tidying up, you've got loads of paper towels. Be careful what's on them. The amount of times I've thrown away tools and things and screws and had to go fishing through the bin, so I need to go and get my toothbrush now just to get the polish out of that channel, or whichever, that one there, there's a bit of polish in there. It needs another polish still. So I covered the calibration for this before, but I must have made a clanger in that video, a mistake. Because ever since I did it, it was always like, on 5 volts, 0.4 of a volt out. Unless you put the cursors on. When the cursors were on, it was always right. The cursor measurement would be correct, but the automatic, you know, here's your voltage DC. With 5 volts at the moment from the Agilent, it's saying 4.47, and I measured it at the point where I'm scoping. The scope probe here is damaged. I'm having to hold it a certain way. That's complicating things. But nevertheless, I just thought I'd try show you this. It's going to be hard to see the screen. If I just hold that like that there, 4.88. I've just got it dialed in a little bit better. These are marked up here, so even though I've covered a previous video on how to calibrate these, that says offset, and I just adjusted it a tiny bit so it was almost centre, and then it went pretty much spot on 5 volts, but it's just a tiny bit out for me just tinkering, so I'm going to just try and twist it a tiny little bit. Something like this is going to give you far more granularity in your adjustment versus a huge handled screwdriver. 5.26 or 5.20 hours made a little difference that. 501 spot on. I'm not touching that further. Yeah, and having adjusted it there, so you can see that showing 501. I'm going to adjust the Agilent now, 5.7, 5.65. So that's not far off, is it? Let's see if we can go. How far can we go? 6.1 volts there, and we're just over 6 volts, 6.04 that looks like. Yeah, so it's not especially accurate. That offset adjustment could be adjusted further yet. Let's try the 25 volt rails. So this is correct now, 1.79. So I'm going to increase the voltage. Increasing. 11.95. What have we got on here? 11.89 or 85. I can't see that. Might be 6.9 actually. 8.2 I think. Right. Anyway, let's keep going up. Yeah, 24.16. So it is mildly out. It's not especially accurate as you get higher and higher. You know, it's almost like, I don't know, 0.8 of a volt out of this range. But no, that's not bad. That's fine for diagnosing simple stuff. Yeah, so I do hope you found that interesting. Yeah, I do have massive bags and bears. I'm so tired. I've been doing so many fixes to things around the house, including tools and things. So if you haven't already gathered, this channel is second to my main Gadget UK 164 channel. There'll be a link to the main channel down below. But there's going to be loads of smaller repairs, some retro stuff, some house stuff, things that perhaps don't really always feel like they fit with my main channel, but also don't be under the illusions this channel's not going to be covering retro stuff, because I'm going to do extra stuff on this channel, small repairs of which I have many ready to edit, and there's less editing. I've done away with the intros and done away with music and all of those things that just complicate things and make it a bit easier. So there might be, or there should be, a higher frequency of videos up on this channel. But we'll still have the same schedule on the main channel as well. It's not like I'm having to do much extra work to push the smaller content out onto this channel. And the other thing on this channel as well, you might be interested to see, is I'm going to start reviewing the videos that I've done, actually looking back at my old videos and pushing out like a commentary on it with some additional stuff, like looking at schematics, telling myself how crap I am at various points, you know, like I shouldn't have done this, I should have done that, why didn't I think of such a thing? And maybe even talking about some of the comments in those videos as well, just to add a bit of an extra spin on things. That's the sort of thing I can do fairly easily. Literally just sitting and watching something for an hour, recording myself, very little to add to it, very little editing. So it'll just bring some extra content that'll just, I think will be interesting. So let me know your thoughts down below. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like the channel, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the channel, please see the Ko-fi and Patreon links down below. This channel would not be possible without all the amazing support that you guys and gals have provided since like 2019, when this is like half my job now, so half my income comes from my channel, and without the donations and support and stuff I've had from you guys and gals, the channel wouldn't be here. So I am so grateful. I'll catch you in the next video.